I've tried to find polite words for what you are. I've tried to be calm, composed, and graceful, to sound healed and forgiving. But let's be real for a second. You don't deserve poetry. You deserve truth. And the truth is ugly. You are everything that could possibly go wrong in a human being. A walking red flag disguised as charm. A hollow soul, wrapped in confidence. A master manipulator pretending to be misunderstood. You are what happens when ego eats empathy alive. You never loved me. You loved the way I loved you. You fed off it, like a parasite. Every compliment, every ounce of attention, you inhaled it, leaving me gasping for air. You were never in love, you were in control. At first, I thought you were different. You had that magnetism, that intoxicating energy that makes people lean in closer, want to impress you, want to earn you. You were all fire and mystery, and I mistook it for depth. But underneath that carefully curated personality was nothing but emptiness. You were a mirror reflecting whatever people wanted to see. You built your identity from stolen pieces of everyone around you, and I fell for it. You studied me like a project. You learned my insecurities, my fears, my dreams. You figured out exactly what kind of person I needed, and you played that role flawlessly. You mirrored my values, my language, my rhythm. It was perfect, too perfect. You wrapped me up in attention and validation until I was addicted, until I forgot what silence felt like. And then, just when I felt safe, you switched. The warmth disappeared. The compliments turned to criticism. The attention became control. Suddenly, everything I said was wrong. Everything I did was too much or not enough. I became a ghost in my own relationship, trying to fix something that only existed in my imagination. I thought if I could just be better, you'd love me again. But you never stopped loving me, because you never started. You loved the power. You loved watching me shrink to fit inside your comfort zone. You loved twisting reality until I doubted my own memory. You loved seeing me apologize for things you did. That's your high, isn't it? Watching people destroy themselves for you. You're not confident. You're a coward. You hide behind arrogance and call it strength. You confuse cruelty for honesty. You think control is love. But deep down, you know what you are: empty. You can't sit alone without attention. You can't stand silence unless someone's name is in your mouth. You build your self-worth out of other people's admiration. You feed off chaos because peace feels like death to you. And you think that makes you powerful? It doesn't. It makes you pathetic. I used to think I was broken because of you. I spent months replaying every conversation, trying to find the exact moment I messed it up. I thought maybe if I hadn't said that thing, or cried that night, or asked that question, maybe you would have stayed. Maybe you would have been different. But narcissists don't change. They just move on to their next audience. And now, when I look back, I realize how many little moments were warnings. The way you always turned every story back to yourself. The way you bragged about things that weren't even yours. The way you subtly belittled people when they weren't around. The way you looked at everyone like they were disposable. You weren't a mystery. You were a pattern. I just didn't want to see it. But here's the thing. I see it now. All of it. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the emotional starvation you disguised as boundaries. The way you disappeared just to make me chase you. The way you'd call me crazy for reacting to your cruelty. You were never confused, you were calculating. You created chaos and then blamed me for trying to survive it. That's the most insidious thing about you. You make people doubt their own reality. You twist the knife and then convince them it was self-inflicted. But I'm done bleeding for you. I'm done analyzing your trauma to justify your behavior. I'm done giving empathy to someone who uses it as a weapon. I'm done shrinking myself to make you feel bigger. You don't get to take up space in my head anymore. You don't get to be the villain and the victim at the same time. You don't get to rewrite the story. Because here's what you don't understand. All that destruction you leave behind, people rebuild. They grow, they learn, they rise. And when they do, you lose your power. You become irrelevant. You fade into the background, looking for another audience who hasn't seen through your act yet. You're predictable now. You're boring. You're small. And I'm not angry because I lost you. I'm angry because I let you convince me that your version of love was the best I could ever have. That manipulation was intimacy. That silence was peace. That cruelty was honesty. But I know better now. Love doesn't hurt like that. Real connection doesn't feel like walking on eggshells. Genuine people don't make you question your worth. You're the lesson I never wanted but probably needed. You taught me to recognize manipulation before it wears the mask of affection. You taught me that charm is not character. You taught me that being chosen by someone broken is not a compliment. It's a warning. So thank you, not for the pain, but for the clarity. Because now, when I meet someone like you, I don't try to fix them. I walk away. I don't mistake intensity for love. I don't confuse attention for care. I don't let anyone convince me that my emotions are too much to handle. You can keep your games, your masks, your endless need for validation. I'm not your supply anymore. I'm not your mirror. I'm not your victim. You're everything that can go wrong in a human being. But I'm everything that can rise from it.